know how to do that. Oh, my goodness. Wooter's in here. Bart's in here. Don is in here, ready and waiting. And welcome, people of Earth. Wednesday, August 8th. No, what the date is it? 20-something? I have no idea.
25th.
25th.
26th.
August 25th. 26th for Ben. This is Cameron Flask. God help everybody.
Yes, it is.
And Bill Pan's here. Hey, Bill. And Bart, it has been a long time since you've been here, and it's good to see you and have you back. And Clay is here, and so are my friends, Mr. Ben Barden and Mr. Caleb Pike. And I think we should start off by saying hello to everybody in the chat, and then let's get some drinks going. So I feel like Caleb should go first because he just finished up a live stream. So the man needs a drink. Let's go for it. What you got?
The sad news of it is I do need a drink, and the sadder news is I
went to me. That was weird.
I can't have a drink. I'm on an 8-week thing.
That's
8 weeks, no sugar, no booze, no bread.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing fun, meat and vegetables. So it's just water in a glass.
Okay.
That's what's happening.
Was that really water? Okay, we'll just say it's water.
Yes,
and then Ben, what do you have?
I'm back to the staple for the last few weeks. This is
the Coburn. The
Coburns. The Coburn Special Reserve Port.
It
just sits very nicely this time of day.
It's said differently than it's spelled, but that's okay. And then I am also going to have red wine. This is from Willamette Valley Vineyards. It's a 2019 Pinot Noir. It's a good table wine. It's not too expensive. So I'm going to have that. And gentlemen, let's start the show. And cheers to you. And Caleb, don't wither away on us on this diet. Okay? All right. Cheers to everybody. Let us know what you're drinking.
Slancher.
Jeff wants to know if Caleb's doing 75 hard. That might demonetize the channel, but I'm going to... What does that mean? Do you know what that means, Caleb? Have you ever heard of that? No. You just got really quiet. Your audio is like super low. No?
It's like gone.
Nope, my bad. It was muted.
There we go. Whoa.
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, and yeah.
That sounds like it would be a hard. It would be a hard situation to get. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I shouldn't have even said it out loud.
That's.
Oh yeah, please do not. Okay, Mountain Zevia here. I don't know what that is, but I guess it's something. And then you need to tell us. I like this name, and I like the avatar for Cloudy Toast Productions. What I'd like to know is that toast that's done on one side, or was it like in a dual-lit toaster, or is it toast done on both sides? That's what I'd like to know. Costco coffee,
very specific
bottoms
question.
up, breakfast blend, and then
nice.
Greetings from Portugal. Thank you, 360 grad.
Happy travels, 360.
And Keith, welcome.
Cloudy has no idea.
He has no idea. So that means just toast in the cloud. Cloudy is definitely not
in the cloud, Jen.
Cloudy's definitely not from the UK. All right, of course. Come on, get your head out of the clouds. Here we go. So today is the day that we start talking about our Wish.com challenge. Which I will be honest, I have never been to Wish.com. Like the other thing, what's it called? OnlyFans thing that you guys were bringing up. I still, to this day, have not gone on there.
They're entirely different things, but there is definitely some crossover in subject matter.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but...
They've been in the news this week. Have you not seen all this stuff with OnlyFans this week?
Yes, no, I saw that they're going to stop putting certain types of content up. But does that happen on Wish.com too?
No. It's
Thank goodness.
You know when you
I
search...
sure hope not.
When you have been looking at anything, you've been searching for products, you've been researching cameras, lenses, whatever, that you will then be plagued for adverts for that for the next month. So Wish, somehow, when you go on there, so this is a It's a Chinese-based online shopping platform.
Wait, Wish.com is?
Yes.
Okay.
So deal breaker there, Jem. You look so panicked.
It tends to. So what happens is that you think, well, this has clearly been tracking what you've been looking, but so you'll see it'll come up and it'll bring a drone up or it'll bring a tripod up, but then it'll bring up things that aren't in that.
Oh, okay, I understand. I got it.
And you're going,
okay.
What? I've not searched for anything to do with that. Where the hell's that come from?
I understand.
So it's when you're at the
I'm
half
tracking with you.
Going, interesting. Why?
Okay.
So it's an unbelievable mixture of incredibly tempting looking things. And I'm not talking about those things, but products that come up for insanely little money.
Yeah.
No,
it's scam level, scam city, right?
Well, apparently you always get stuff. So I've never ordered anything from it, but friends that have said it comes, but it's generally not exactly what you thought it was. So for things like drones, that you'll get something that looks like a Mavic Pro 2. Like it looks exactly the same, and it even has Mavic written on the thing. And then you order it, and it's like $100 opposed to $1,700. And this thing comes up, but it's like this big. So it looks identical. So in the pictures, you've got it looks just like it. It's got to be the same sort of thing.
Okay.
Even if the camera's not as good, it's still going to be, but it's some little bit. So it's full of all kinds of things like that.
Okay.
So I'm
wild.
I think it's an interesting thing to have a go at. But there's loads of stuff like tripods and grip stuff and.
Can you pay through PayPal or not?
I've no idea.
All right, we're gonna have to figure some stuff out.
I've never got that far through.
Because when I was a kid, I went down to 14th Street in New York, where I grew up, and I wanted to get a new VCR. That's a video cassette recorder for anybody under the age of 35. And basically, I showed up, and this guy had this great VCR in a box, and I negotiated him down to, I don't know what it was, $25, $10, $15. And I got home and I opened it up. I think I've mentioned this. And it was essentially corrugated cardboard that had been soaked in water. And so the box weighed about the same amount that a VCR would weigh. And that's what was inside of the box. And it was shrink wrapped. And I opened it up and I was like, I've done this, but I've done it in person in real life. That was my wish.com. So we're going to figure out what we get. But I'm down. We need to figure out what this is. And we need to figure out a dollar amount. And what I was thinking is, why don't we make this next week I'm away with my family. Let's make this 2 weeks from today. We do our wish. Wow, we're getting down thumbs too for some reason. That's exciting. I got one of these. Let's do it on Wednesday, September 8th. What do you think?
So, two things with this. I think this is a two-parter, potentially, because this stuff is not going to be like ordering something from B&H or Amazon in the States. This is not coming the next day.
No, but I was giving, is 2 weeks? Isn't 2 weeks enough?
No, I've heard months or a month.
Yeah, a month.
Oh. So do we reveal on the 8th what it is that we ordered, and then we do a follow-up once they arrive and say this is what we actually got?
Screenshots of what we're getting, and then what we ordered, rather, and then see what actually shows up.
Yeah. So I think that would be the way to go.
And you had a problem with this 360 grad? I don't understand. I it sounds like right up your alley.
So to speak.
Edgar is in French. Okay.
Yeah.
I just looked at the chat and I'm very confused at what's happening.
There's all kinds of stuff. There's things all over the place. Okay. I think this bit could last the rest of the year. It could. All right. What you wish and then reality. Yes, that's what the whole deal is.
Yes,
we can't.
That's the whole fun of the fair.
Okay, we can't schedule the second one until everybody has all their stuff, of course. And we also
Yeah.
need to know from the people who are here in the chat who else wants to be in. What's our dollar amount? Like, I'm totally down for like $100 is totally fine with me. I could maybe push 150, 200, but that's I don't want to go past that.
I think 100
To buy junk.
I think
Right.
100 is enough.
100.
What do you think?
buy-
What do you think, Caleb?
I'm.
I think that's fine. I don't know what I'm googling like search Wish products without creating an account. See if we can find a way to like see what kind of stuff we can potentially get.
You could
I
donate
feel like
700.
there's all sorts of
700
stuff
what? Francisco says I could donate 700. 700 wishes, 700 hugs, $700, 700 krona. What is it? David, what are you saying? Wow. I'm down. Well, this is definitely going to use up all of our super chat money. Oh,
Ben's gone.
Ben became a silhouette of a woman. 700 cents. Nice job. 700 cents. So this is not about donations. This is about other people participating. So you would let us know that
not
you're
paying
also going
us,
to do
but
it.
if anyone else wants to do this,
Then
can
you
send
get
us
to
the
be in
list
there.
of stuff you got for $100 or whatever we choose, or a different budget.
Watch
You
it,
guys
Chris.
can come up with your own. You want to spend $10? That's fine.
Stop it, Ben. Hold yourself. You see right above Ben where it says Cameron Flask and it has the thing. We're saying that people who participate, we're going to cycle people into part 2, and maybe even into part 1 through over there, and you can actually be in that square or rectangle, and then we'll bring people in and they'll be scheduled and do that.
Or if you don't
Yeah.
want to be on camera, that's fine too. You can just send us some images of what you ordered
course.
and what you actually got.
Yeah, exactly. You're not. You don't have to.
There's two trains of thought with this.
Yeah.
I think one is, do you go safe and get things like cheapy tripods, cheapy light stands, which you know will probably be at least capable of holding something light, and you will get some use out of.
Right.
But that's kind of dull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or then do you go for something that you know shouldn't cost $100, but just to see? So there's all sorts of stuff on there.
Another thing we could do is, instead of each of us coming up with a kit or whatever we want to get, we could each just blow 100 on one or two items.
Well, that's what I'm
Different
thinking.
categories.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
One of us get a camera,
yeah.
one of us get a light, one of us get a lens. I don't know.
My guess is that if you're gonna be the one that's gonna get a camera, that no matter what camera you try to get, you're either gonna get an AJA Scion or the original Blackmagic Ursa as the camera that's gonna show up, because it doesn't matter,
Broken.
and it's gonna be broken.
Shipping's going to be more than $100 for that thing.
Oh, it's not like free shipping. Okay.
So people have got cameras. We're just looking at the chat. Edgar saying he got a drone for $40. So I'd be intrigued to know whether that actually lasted one
Francisco's
flight.
gonna get the light.
There you go. Perfect.
I'm down for video. What does that mean, David? How much have you been drinking? You mean like a video camera? Or
Maybe it means being on the stream.
okay. But okay,
Maybe.
so
I don't know.
are we $100?
Now I feel
What?
slightly morally, that if we're encouraging people to waste $100 here, like only do this if you really
Oh, I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything. I'm saying if people want to participate, it's up to them. It's a very good chance there's going to be $300 to spend, and it's going to be the three of us. But if anybody else, yes. What can you
It'd be
join?
like,
Francis.
You walk into it expecting it all to be garbage.
Yeah,
And
I
you might
mean,
be surprised.
yeah.
Pleasantly.
If you're, you basically have to feel like you're walking up to, a table in Vegas, right? You got $100 in your hand. The chances of you getting that money back are next to none. And if you get anything, it's purely for entertainment reasons. I mean, it's really, Yes, you can be on the stream, David, and so can Francisco, for sure. You know, if you're going to participate, sure, we'll have to work it out. We'll get a show-only invite into Ecamm. You come on for a particular period of time, and I think, you know, it'll be like 10 minutes, and you'll come in and do your spiel. I'm down for that. Yeah. Yes.
All right. I'm excited by it. Even though I know that I'm going to be disappointed, there's that little glimmer of hope that you're going to get that little bargain. It's going to be something useful and amazing.
Surely that's not. No one's going to. I mean, the way I understand Wish, has anyone ever gotten the thing they ordered?
You see, I'm even down with not getting the thing I ordered. I just want something cool.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're just completely satisfied with something in the same category as long as it's semi-good.
Yeah. So it's when you browse through it, you'll get things that are obviously worded interestingly. So there's loads of things that look like an iPhone 12 on there at the moment, called Phone 12, just missing
Phone
the I.
12.
Right.
Yeah. And then
it's like those Seiko. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's got 4 cameras, and the iPhone's only got 3, and so it's better than an iPhone.
You could get a Seiko watch, and they used to sell them, and then they would purposely put the hand of the watch in a certain place, and then when the hand moved, it was Seiko with 2 S's. Kid you not. So they have all these little tricks. So this is basically 14th Street in Manhattan circa 1987 or something. No, I ordered vague. Yeah, we'll also only be choosing like 1, maybe 2 people. And I'm watching you in the chat, kids, because trust me, I don't know about this. Okay, let's see. Canon EOS 5D Mark IV is $10,780 US. On what? On Wish?
So you occasionally get things that are just mega overpriced as well, which I think it's just to confuse you and dazzle you into.
What is happening with this place? I'm so scared.
Oh, you mean on Wish?
Go into this website and see what's going on.
Do we need to have like a firewall and everything else? What do we do? What's the best? What's the best way? Huh?
I don't know anyone that's had anything in terms of financial stuff.
I've not heard anything like
stuff. No.
Yeah.
It is purely that it's just going to be dog shit whatever arrives. I think that's the only bit, and we're going into that with our eyes wide open.
100%. And there are tons of videos of big YouTubers doing stuff like this. Like Linus, I've seen his Linus Tech Tips.
Yeah.
He built a whole PC from wish.com stuff.
Okay.
So he's like, here's the picture of what we bought. We got a GTX 3080. And what comes is like a 2005 graphics card or something terrible. You can get a good idea of what this is going to kind of be like. But I'm definitely curious. So, dollar amount. Do we have a dollar amount?
I think
whatever
we said
anyone in the chat wants to do for themselves, and then for the 3 of us, 100.
Right.
Got it. Anybody else can decide. They can do anything from they can do 25, 50, 75, 100. If they want to do more, we take no responsibility.
If you
they take PayPal?
Not if you want to do more. We take no responsibility for any amount that you put into it.
Right, we take no responsibility for any amount. Can we start? We can record this. We're gonna have it online. Okay, I got something from Wish years ago, and it took about 60 days to arrive, and the quality was garbage compared to description and photos. I'm excited. I'll spend $100 for.
They have. Like, I've seen mannequins on there. I mean, they have more features than the ones you're generally used to.
Serious question on that note.
Yes.
On that note, why don't you have the mannequins in the background, man? I think that'd be great. I'm dead serious. Right over your left shoulder, in between with the red shelf thing and like whatever's white there. Just have the mannequins. Just
Are you sure you're just drinking water?
Yeah, I'm totally sure. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I feel the not anything but water in my glass. Oh, there he goes again.
It's like,
okay, so while he's gone,
Wish.com.
$100 for the three of us. Whatever anyone else wants to do, send us your images and we'll figure out, the show, how we're gonna like do the show and have people on and stuff. What do we want to get specifically for the three of us?
Well, honestly,
how do you want to break this down?
I
guess what we'll do is
I want to buy a camera, and it doesn't have to be a video camera, but I want to buy a camera. I want to see what happens with a camera. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm not trying to buy a kit for it. I mean, we'd have to go higher. I want to spend $100.
No, we're not doing a kit.
And I want to shoot for the moon and see what I wind up with. Yeah. We don't want good Cloudy Toast. We want a train wreck. We're going for a train wreck, and then we go Alibaba.
Yeah. What came was exactly what was ordered, and it was all fine. That's no fun.
Boring. Francisco, this is why you can't be on the live stream. I don't know what's going to come out of your mouth when we do this. It's ridiculous. This isn't Saturday Night Live. What's going on here? Oh, my God. Oh, there we go. We got some. Okay. He will end up with an Elf on the Shelf. Do you know how many Elf on the Shelves I have? It's ridiculous. One of them burnt. Yeah. Like one of them got too close. I don't know what happened with one of my kids, and it got too close to the stove or something. So it was like Indiana Jones.
A toy?
No, Elf on the Shelf. Elf on the Shelf. It got like got messed up. So then I had to buy another one, and then it's too many. It's ridiculous. Wish is basically a Turkish. Oh, I'm not even going to. I'm actually, when I saw the word, forget it. I'm going to 360 grad. I have to be careful.
I've just logged into it, so just to give you a little flavor of the kind of thing. So I've got.
Just so everybody knows, Ben actually logged in before we started the show, and notice how he's dropped out of the show twice already during the live stream. Okay? Go ahead, Ben. I'm ready.
So the first products that come up are a jacket, a mosquito killer lamp, a YouTube video light. It's like some kind of weird ring light.
Yeah.
A USB car charger.
Yeah.
Some kind of like Steadicam gimbal thing. A phone. A shower head with an LED light in it. An RGB light. Some black cowboy boots.
Stop
a floral
there.
Jacket.
Oh no. I don't say everything because at one point it's just going to come out of your mouth and it's going to be the wrong thing.
Oh, no. And then 12 products in is a red leather gimp mask. I shit you not. A proper gimp mask.
And Ben knows what a proper one is, I guess.
Yeah, not a fake one. Like
my education goes about as far as Pulp Fiction is about as far as, and that's not even a mask, is it? That's the...
No, that's just the ball thing.
This is all... I'm done. I'm terrified. Okay, here's the deal. Wish.com, $100 US.
Showerhead sounds good. Showering in the dark can be fun. I love it.
Okay, Caleb.
All right, so you're doing the camera.
Well, it doesn't mean that we can all do cameras. It would be that's also really fun. We could all say
I guess
cameras.
We'll have to see once we get in there. Ben, give us an idea. Like $100. What can you get for $100? I mean, obviously there's anything, but realistically, what do you think we should do here?
Well, like, loads of grip stuff. Lights, obviously, you can get. And then there's things like tablets and like little 12-volt TV things, so monitoring stuff.
Okay.
You can get maybe they have an HD video camera, which is coming up because I'm in Czech now and it's doing 440 crowns. What's that about?
Do you see how Wish.com is hijacked Ben? He's at like 1.5 frames per second now. He's dropped out twice, and he can't even. They've taken over, man. I don't know what's going on over there.
It's that kind of stuff. There are definitely cameras available for that sort of budget.
Cameras. Do they have like something like a RE Sky panel?
I haven't seen an RGB panel. I've seen
How about like
ring lights for
like an MKH 416, like really high end audio gear would be great too. Like Letrasonics.
I have no idea like how like
Letrasonics or sound devices stuff. What about looking into weird camera accessories? Jamal says, "I define weird."
Do you have lenses?
I have. Seen
lenses. You have?
Yeah.
Look up lenses. Let's see what happens.
Hang on. Let me have a look.
While we're doing this and we're sort of sorting this out, one of the things I want to throw out there is every week on Camera and Flask, we also open up the chat for general questions about equipment, challenges that you might be having on your shoots. That doesn't actually have anything to do with what 360 Grad is doing, okay, or talking about. It's getting 360. Come on, mics would be great. Audio, I can't even take it. Mics would be great. Like audio record, like a sound devices, like a mix pre. Can you do that?
So there's a dual channel wireless mic system for $35.
Perfect.
Amazing. Okay. I mean, the best thing to do would be to try to do like audio. Don't use that word on the stream here. Audio, lighting, and camera for $100 and see what you get. That would be pretty hilarious too. I'd go to like 150, 200 for that, just to get like a whole kit that's a camera, lighting, and audio equipment.
Man. And if we wanted to make it a little more interesting, we could each, if you get a camera, you have to film something with it or take a photo. It can be anything, just to get the quality. Sure. If you have a light, you have to light something, just to see how awful it's going to be. And if it's a microphone, you have to like use it at the beginning of the stream or in the stream.
That's why I was thinking that we could actually need to use them as part of our setup within the stream. So whether that's a light, a piece of grip, camera, or audio.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I like it. Okay.
At least at the beginning of it, we might have to turn it off after 5 minutes. But
and what day is the show? Because I do have a trip coming up. I need to make sure I don't screw this up here.
Well, I was originally thinking that we would show what we have like off next week, and then Wednesday, September 8th. Is that possible?
So I will be gone that week. Yeah.
I can try to come in next week from where I am, as long as I have decent internet, and we could just do it next week in terms of what we've ordered. Because we don't want it to be like 4 months from now. We could do it next week.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll just bring some stuff with me, even if I keep it really simple for on the road. And then what we'll do is we'll be off on the 8th. What is the next Wednesday? What's the date for the next Wednesday?
The 15th.
That's my birthday.
After the 8th.
We should do something on the 15th. That won't be when we get everything. But we could do one on the 15th. No. And then we'll have to figure out next week what the 15th is going to be about. Okay. So we've got to set this up now. Next week we have to present our Wish.com purchases. Oh, okay. Perfect. Let me first bring something up here. We've got a super chat here. $4.99 from David Phelps. Thank you, David. Help, shooting in Africa at an orphanage. Have 3 primes, 17, 35, and a 50 with the FS700 plus Atomos. And considering a 28 to 200 Tamron, 2.8 to 5.6 for budget, good idea? Question mark. You go ahead and
did this,
chime in.
More or less this exact job in India about 3-4 years ago, and I would say definitely zoom. If you I don't know how you're traveling around them, and if you're on your own, if you've got people with you, prime's great. If you've got support. I mean, Africa's a big place. I don't know where you are. If you're somewhere dusty, we were shooting in Kenya just before all this chaos with COVID started, and the dust everywhere was phenomenal, and not needing to take anything off the front of your camera is a good move, but also choosing lenses that are weather, dust sealed, etc. And I don't know whether Tamron stuff is or isn't,
or that you can throw it in the trash when you're done.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. But I was like, to change lenses, like using an air duster between each thing, and then sort of getting over it, putting it in something where that you can keep dust out. But I don't know where you are. Like Africa's huge, so let us know where you are, what you're doing, if it's kind of rural, if it's likely to be dry and dusty. And I was amazed at just how after 10 minutes, just a thick layer of dust on absolutely everything. So I for that's the prime perfect use of zooms, those kind of jobs for me.
So
leave one thing on.
Just looked at the Tamron 2.8 to 5.6, so it's a variable aperture, obviously, as you're zooming through. So you'll be 2.8 on the wide end, and then you're going to start to drop if you set it at 2.8. That lens is about $650 US, and I don't know what's up with your signal there, Ben, but I do, wish.com. And so for $650 US, is there a fixed aperture zoom lens that you would say would be a better choice? Because I don't think you necessarily need to go all the way to 200 on the long end, but you definitely need something that's wide enough. Any thoughts?
That's a tough one.
I don't know whether, yeah.
Or maybe find some kind of 24 to 105-ish something.
Yeah.
To be honest, that
or
Canon, the 24-105 Canon, you've got the IS on there.
Yeah.
No, it's not the sexiest lens in the world, but it's a solid choice for something like that. 28, and I with the FS700, unless you've got a speed booster or something on it, 28's not very wide.
Yeah, even 24 is right on the edge, because a 24 is equivalent to about a 36.
He's got a 17 prime.
He does, but I think the idea is, maybe he's shooting a lot of B-roll, cutaways, inserts with those prime lenses. But if you're shooting interviews, the problem is if you don't set your lens to 5.6, if you're changing focal length in between questions, that can be a problem as well, because there's just math involved. So I would tend to agree with Ben. You'd probably be better off with a fixed f4 all the way through your range. Set your camera to a 4. Not arguably, in reality, there he is, wish.com, he's gone again. In reality, there is a little bit of fall off on the 24 to 105 when you get to the end of the lens. So you are going to see a little bit of light loss, but it's not going to be equivalent to, going from a 2.8 to a 5.6 through your zoom range. And so, yeah.
Also, is he talking about the newer one?
Oh, I don't know.
There's a bunch of versions. Well, the 28 to 200 is $630.
Yep.
$600 for the newer one. So for that kind of money, you could definitely get a 24 to 105.
Yep.
You'd have to get an adapter.
And with an adapter. Yeah, the adapters aren't too much, though, right? I mean, smart adapters are still pretty reasonable now for E-mount.
But he doesn't, no one cares. Yeah. That adapters aren't bad at all. Trying to think, I almost feel like you could do...
I'm a 24-105 with the speed booster, because then you've got another stop, and you've also got really useful range on your focal lengths.
What were you saying, Caleb? Which one? What other one?
Oh, just you could go a little old school, kind of match the age of your camera with the age of the lens, and get yourself a Tamron 24 to 70 2.8 with stabilization for like $400 or $500.
And is that a fixed 2.8 or is it a
2.8 fixed 2.8?
I go with that.
It's a honking lens, 82 millimeter focus thread, but it has good image stabilization. And then you could just get something for the longer end if you need that longer end.
Is there anything you can think of?
When I was broke. Yeah, was that lens back in the day?
And the AF on the 700 isn't amazing anyway, so you're really going to have to check focus.
FS700, you're not doing any autofocus of that.
That's what
Maybe
I'm saying.
One time.
Yeah. So that's not really the consideration. Are there any other lenses that you can think of that are like 18 to 70s or anything that we can get a little bit wider? Or is that
Not
basically
wider,
it?
no. There's an old
just
Canon
think-
L lens. Do you know, Ben? It's like a 28 to 80 f2 to 2.8 or something.
Yeah. I feel like I
mean,
might need the
What's that?
200 for cool B-roll.
Right.
Well, telephoto lenses, you could get a cheap one.
Really cheap.
I don't know if you want like permanent gear, but you could get, what is it, the Canon?
The 200's great. It's super sharp. I have that lens. Just the fixed. It's not a zoom, but what else?
Let's see. I mean, that's an FD lens. You could get a manual lens for nothing, like a 135 for nothing, $200 for nothing.
Yeah.
Just a Nikon or something. But if you want proper like autofocus or like,
But again, it's
electric lens,
FS700.
yeah, I mean,
What was
another
that?
thing you could do, and this if you can carry two lenses, a set I just donated to an organization that it was hard to let go, was my Nikon set. It's the AFS lenses. So the 28 to 70, there's a 17 to 50, and there's a 80 to 200. You could buy all three of those lenses for $1,500 as a kit.
Wow.
All 2.8.
Wow.
Manual aperture rings.
Yep.
So like
And
something
not-
like that with that
yeah.
camera.
If the 17 to
Great.
55 were weather sealed and you can find a used one, it's, the 2.8 is as sharp as a tack. It has IS. But it's just horrible in that's not where you'd go in
Although-
the desert. Oh, yes.
Although I have to say, I took that on a safari thing that we were doing. Well, the job was talking about in Kenya, and it got plastered in dust fairly frequently. And you can, so where that gets a lot of dust into it is underneath the front element, and it's an absolute doddle to take that front element off and clean that out yourself.
Never did I
these
think I
words.
would hear the word dawdle on Cameron Flask.
Does this mean something
Okay.
different in American English?
Yeah, it means
I have
absolutely
no idea.
nothing. It means absolutely nothing. I know what you're saying.
means,
but
"Aw,
it means
that's
yeah,
cute."
it means
I don't know what that
oh,
means, but-
it's an absolute
All right,
dawdle.
I will,
Yeah,
I will
Dawdle.
translate for the cousins on the other side of the pond.
cousins.
Easy.
So derogatory. Go ahead. I'm listening.
It's a
Condescending, looking
derogatory. Oh, yeah,
down
it's definitely
upon us.
condescending, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's our thing. So yeah, no, it's really easy to take that front element off and clean underneath that. So that 1755, and it's so cheap. You can pick those up used for next to nothing, and it is really sharp, and it's a really useful focal range.
Yeah. And that
So-
with a 70 to 200 Canon white lens, that is par focal. I mean, the IS version is an f4, but it's a pretty great lens for the money.
They do a 2.8. They do a 2.8 version of that.
They do a 2.8, but
With IS
it's a lot
as well.
heavier. I mean, the f4 version is, you can just run for all day long on that thing.
Yeah.
not
Bill
bad.
saying, what about the Sig? Oh, that's an absolute
Just thought of another
dawdle.
lens.
Yeah, tell us, and then I'm jumping in the chat.
I'm just all the, and I'm not knocking anyone at all, but I went through a lot of this stuff when I didn't want to spend a fortune on lenses when I got started. But this is a lens like I've heard almost nobody talk about, and I loved the Takina 50 to 100 or 50 to
Are you
200.
bringing it up?
Trying to hunt it down here.
All right, you hunt it down. Bill, I'm going to bring up your Sigma 50 to 100. Optically, it's a beautiful lens.
Oh, okay.
It's not the 18. Hold on, let's go over here. Okay, here we go.
It's a weird lens. It's a 50 to 135. I guess it's not that helpful,
Okay.
but it's nice because it's like a baby 70 to 200 size.
Yep.
That gives you a nice little range, 2.8. But I thought it was a 200. But man,
Yeah.
I shot so much stuff with that little guy. Another shot of it.
So that's another option.
Anyway.
Bill, 50 to 100 Sigma, breathes like a mother. but optically nice. But the magic lens when it comes to them is the 18-35. I mean, that's a fantastic lens, but it has gaps there. It's a lot easier to say I'm going to get the 17-55 and then the 70-200. You're probably in two ranges there that you're going to get a lot more work done
Honestly,
with.
On a C200, excuse me, so same sensor size, I use those two lenses a huge amount. If it's jobs where you're kind of running and gunning jobs, that's I would say 90% on those. Yeah, I take other stuff, but it never goes on. It's 70-200, and that's 17-55.
Did you guys talk about David's comment here? The essence of the question comes down to how bad is it to have a non-consistent aperture if you aren't zooming actively in a shot. You can live with it.
It's not horrible, David.
Light,
yeah, it's an absolute pain in the ass when you're shooting interviews because your tendency is to start usually at a wider focal length, and then as you go through the questioning, you're going to go longer and longer. And that's when it gets to be a problem.
I'll play devil's advocate though. Maybe I'm just really bad at documentary, or I was really bad, but I never did that. I would maybe, if there was a break, hop in a little bit, but I never change my focal length. Once that thing is set, unless if I had two cameras, then that would be that. But I didn't move in at all. Another way you can think of it, David, is just that lens. Every time it clicks down, just pretend you have 5 prime lenses. Some are really crappy in your bag.
And
you've got a 200 f5.6, you've got a 28 f3.5.
Yep.
And then you could, if you don't care about the changing the focal length and screwing up your lighting and exposure, then you're fine.
Yeah,
I would say if you're okay with not having a fast lens and it's not too soft. Yeah. Because let's be honest, one camera.
Go ahead, Caleb. What?
I was just saying, one camera and one lens, that range. I mean, the trade-off is amazing because you can just run around, not change any lenses, just do your thing and not have to worry about it, which versus carrying a backpack with a bunch of lenses, that's pretty tempting.
Yeah. What was that piece of crap that came with the early 70-200s?
I don't want to think about it. It was horrible.
No.
Don't even.
Silver turd.
The silver stallion.
What the focal length was on that?
It was like 18-135 or something. It was definitely 18. Maybe it was 18-200 or something.
I think you're right.
Here's what I would say. It's basically maths, right? So if you're shooting an interview and you've got a 2.8 to 5.6 and it's 2.8 on the wide end and you start and you do want to change your focal length throughout the questioning, then as long as you're starting at a relatively reasonable ISO or ISO, then the math is pretty easy. If you say, oh, it's 2.8 and it drops to a 4 and you're at 400 ISO, then you just have to boost your ISO to 800 and you'll have the same exposure. But you have to be willing to do that, and you have to be willing to do the math when you're shooting that way with a variable aperture, or just set the lens to 5.6 and then you can change your focal length, from whatever you want. There's a lot of different ways to do it, for sure. But I still feel that probably the best recommendation all around is to get like a 24-105. Whoa, 24-105. That was my glass hitting the wine bottle.
Yeah.
24-105, and then just setting it to a 4 and just letting it go from there. I don't know.
24-105 with the speed booster gives you a really good focal range, and it's also weather sealed.
It's true.
The adapters might not be, but the lens itself is.
But it's not as fun necessarily, right? So I don't know. Caleb, thoughts too?
I'm just dumbfounded here. People are selling that Sony lens.
The Silver Fox?
The cheapest one I can find is $430.
That's baloney. That's such baloney.
Isn't that amazing?
It's like the used car market right now.
$600.
That is the dumbest
this piece
thing.
of garbage.
I never bought it. When I got my camera, I bought it sans lens, and I just bought other lenses.
I remember working with one, and it was like a pretty new one and this
Yeah.
rubber here,
Yeah.
immediately you're turning the rubber.
Yes, I know
It's just
exactly what you're talking.
completely
It
detached
gets
from the body.
yeah, it just detaches and it has that little floppy
You have
part.
to squeeze
And that
really hard. to get it to
gorgeous,
actually-
metally, plasticky. Ugh.
It's a
It was
modern
cool.
marvel of
18
engineering.
to 200.
There it is. Yeah, there you go.
Unbelievable.
Ridiculous. Okay, so let's see. We've got a couple of other questions here. There was actually a post question. Somebody was asking about NLEs. Let me find where that is. As someone new to the editing scene, what software apps do you recommend for editing videos and photos, PC and Mac? So I definitely am agnostic in terms of what other people choose. Everybody chooses what solution they want to use. I think that if you are somebody that wants to get a solution that's PC and Mac, then I would probably recommend DaVinci Resolve. And by the way, let's just not forget that, and this is sort of an aside to what we're talking about, but Adobe is buying Frame.io for $1.3 billion US. And there he is, wish.com. It's like the fourth time during this episode. I don't know what the hell
And a
is
new
going on.
meme is born.
Oh my goodness! There he is, a silhouette of Heather Locklear or something with that hair. So so I would say, should I even let him in? This is ridiculous.
Of course you should.
Are you
It's-
sure
oh,
you
wait,
haven't
wait, wait. What's the word he used earlier?
dodleeds, bobbly? I don't know. What did he say?
Yeah, you should let him in. It's Dudley. It's easy.
Dudley. It's a Dudley.
Yeah, I'm learning. I'm
Wish.com
trying to
has
get
got
the
you.
Doddle.
They've got you, buddy.
It's a
You
Doddle.
got Doddle. So what I was
going on.
$1.3 billion for Frame.io from Adobe.com. They said that they're going to continue to develop for all the different platforms. This is what triggered this thought. But it's Adobe, and it's like Apple buying a solution. Is it really going to happen? It's not. I'm really a little bit. I use Frame.io every day so much. I'm a little concerned.
Question though on that.
I'd
Do
be
you
terrified.
think-
What?
Yeah, definitely. I agree, Caleb. But the other question
I'm
is,
terrified.
do you think that Frame.io will become part of the Creative Cloud suite for the massively overpriced subscription for the piece of shit software which crashes every day, all day on me?
You know, it's
Because
it's
it
a
comes to the
yeah.
point where I would
Yeah.
consider keeping that subscription if it does, whereas I'm now
Well, I'm exactly the opposite.
about ready to bid it.
I would really, really be gutted if they don't keep it as a standalone product, because I think that the magic of the product is that you can scale it based on what your usage is and what you're doing. It's completely outside of the ethos and sort of DNA. I don't know if I'm saying the right words of what Frame.io is to me, to become part of Adobe. And if it becomes part of Creative Cloud and all of that stuff, I feel that they're going to alienate a huge percentage of their current user base. And so I hope they kind of take it from the standpoint of what Vitek Group does with creative services, where they kind of let Wooden Camera, Small HD, Teradek, they allow them to sort of operate autonomously. Is that the right word? You know, they're connected to the big mothership and the umbrella, but they kind of get to run as their own little thing. And I hope Adobe takes that stance with Frame.io.
They've copped a lot of flack
Yeah.
about it this week. There's
There's three reasons you buy a company. One, because they're competition, you want to crush them. Two, you buy them for the technology so that you can
the
implement
IP. Yep.
their tech
Yep.
and R&D.
Mm-hmm.
Or three, to assimilate them into your brand.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's number two.
Yep.
So that they can just like, cool, we're just literally going to take what you guys have done, plug it into what we already have going on.
Yep.
And then, let you guys continue to do your thing. Kind of like you were talking about with all those other
Yeah.
things. Hopefully
I really
it's not
hope.
awesome. Let's just kind of like, I don't know, Frame.io is a new Adobe app now. And pony up, Ben and Jem. Creative Cloud.
It's interesting.
Nope. Nope.
Yikes.
I mean, I could see it being an upsell for Creative Cloud, or whatever you call it. Like you get it along with Creative Cloud, or you can be one of those idiots. You can be one of those idiots that continues to pay for it separately. But I want to be one of those idiots that has a choice to pay for it separately.
Well, and the other thing with Creative Cloud is that for their collaboration bits, now they charge. That's not included anyway. You end up having to pay extra on the subscription.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of... The thing that really irks me, particularly with the Creative Cloud subscription at the moment, is that you obviously get a lot for your money in terms of all the software that you can have for that monthly fee. But I think most of us probably use 3 or 4 bits of that regularly. And then the other issue I have with it is that, having spoken to loads of people who do what we do, everyone's paying something different. Everyone's on a different deal. It's kind of negotiable. So I phoned them up and I said, like, hang on, there's someone I know, like a guy, like someone I work with, who's paying less than half what I'm paying for it. Do you understand why I'm annoyed?
It's like Comcast in the States.
Yeah, exactly.
They go, no. Well, yours is the right internet company. Can I pay what he pays? No.
Yep.
No, you can't. You pay what you pay for it.
Well, it's just like when you sign up for for a cable service and you get it for $5.99 a month, and then a year later you get jacked up to $20 a month, but then you see an ad the day you're doing that anybody who signs up as a new subscriber gets it for $3.99 a month.
Right.
And it's okay. All right, we're going down a dark path here. Amy says, audio question, I've had issues with using 2 Rode Wireless Go's simultaneously, cutting out intermittently. Do you have suggestions for optimizing the setup, or should I just not use 2 of these at once? So I'm going to let everybody else weigh in too. I'm going to say that there's only 2 things that could be happening in my mind. One is that you're out of range. So the difference between your transmitter and your receiver, transmitters and receiver, there's too much range between them. The second thing is that there's probably something wrong, because it's a pretty solid product. You could try to do a firmware update if there is one on the units, but to me it doesn't sound like you should be having a problem with that. The whole idea, you mean Wireless Go 2, or do you mean you're using 2 units?
That changes everything, that question, yeah.
Yeah,
I read it as
that's what I need to know.
2 sets of Wireless Go 1s is how I read it.
Yeah, that's what I read, but I'm wondering if she's using 2 transmitters with 1 receiver, or 2 of the original kits.
Yeah.
Because the way I see this is there's 2 things that could be going wrong. If they're both cutting out at the same exact time, and you have the original set, and you have like 2 transmitter, 2 transmitters.
Yes, she's just answered. Yeah. So it's 2 units, Wireless Go 1. Give us more information, Amy, on how you're using them too. Yep.
It's either one of 2 things. It's either the cable that's connecting that to the camera, something's wrong, or you have them too close together. All these companies will sell you all kinds of cute, adorable little things where you can clip them both together right next to each other. That's going to cause issues. So try to get them further apart from each other. Buy like a cold shoe extender, 2 of them, like, 6 inches apart. See if that solves the problem. Otherwise, whatever splitter mechanism, whatever hardware you're using to split them, that might be the other issue.
Yep.
That's my guess.
Miking 2 different people, they were pretty close together. The people or the
maybe
receivers?
That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is that
if they're both cutting out simultaneously, it's not the transmitter. Something's wrong with this receiver.
So get the receivers further apart from each other somehow. And, that's the problem with these systems. You can't, frequency-based systems, you can specifically scan and let it do an auto sync between the transmitter and receiver, but you can also go in and you can set a different frequency for each of the different transmitters and receivers. And that's probably the big disadvantage. I mean, the other way to go, I know it sounds not necessarily a solution right now, Amy, is to sell your 2 Wireless Go 1s and go with a Wireless Go 2. And that is designed specifically for 2 transmitters and a single receiver. Because clearly a lot of people in that
recording on the transmitter,
and you'll have a backup recording. Yes, exactly.
that has just saved me on a gig, a job I'm editing right now for the first time. Brilliant. And what it was that it was peaking. It was someone got very loud mid interview, and what was into the camera was clipped, even though you're kind of riding the levels down. But the file that came out of the transmitter, which is where they're stored, was clean still.
Good.
Something's up with that. I don't know. I'm not going to say it's 32-bit float because it's not. I've tested it. But something's up with that whole what happens on the recorder, on the transmitter versus what you get.
Right.
Because they're very different.
Yeah, and we've talked about them being very hot. If you're putting an external mic in, because you can't alter the gain on the transmitter, so you end up with them being a little hot. But on that so you can't pull the level down on the camera to get it so that it's not clipping, because it's clipping at the receiver end.
Yep.
So with your gain staging, you can't sort that out. There is a way of bringing it down, but it doesn't bring it down that much. It's like a one-step thing in the receiver, in the transmitter. But on the recorded internal file, it's got way more range on it. So I don't know what is. Likewise, there is something odd, and it has that option. Yeah. There is that drop down in the settings which has 32-bit. Now, why would they say, well, it's not 32-bit? They're not. But why would you put that in? There's something.
Yeah,
there's something's
funky up there. I mean, they could be coming out with a Rode Link 2.
Yep.
But
heck yeah.
But I think that's the future. Is we keep talking about like wirelessly transmitting audio and being able to have a recorder with 32-bit. I wonder if everything's going, every device you are pointing at someone to record, every microphone has the recording capability, and then it transmits a monitoring only signal.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Amy,
it's really annoying because I just want to use what's going into the camera.
No,
sorry,
I agree.
Amy, we're
one
way
single.
out on the deep end.
No. I think we're getting there, and I think I would always prefer single system for the type of productions that we're doing. Amy, I think you are getting some clarity here. You've got 2 Wireless Go 1.0 systems. Sell them. If they're in good shape, you should be getting at least enough money, if not more, to go ahead and pick up a Wireless Go 2. And I think that probably makes more sense for what it is that you're doing at the moment with your productions. 3:57 here, Pacific time, so we've only got a few minutes. Next week, we are going to get together, and are we going to reveal our Wish.com? Could Ben, would you mind sending me a little description of what our guidelines are for our Wish.com thing, and I'll put it up in the next day so that people can see what the challenge is if they want to participate. Next week, you would just submit a PDF of what it is that you've decided to buy on Wish.com, and you're just going to have to buy it by, next Monday, and then submit your purchase to me by Tuesday, and I'll put that up in the description. So, yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. And David, that's a challenge. I mean, it's I don't know if you can find extra cheap prices on Wish. I've never even been on there. So there you go.
I'm having trouble finding extra cheap prices. That's
okay.
I'm struggling to find things that seem like a realistic price for anything.
Yeah.
Like a reassuring price.
Cloudy Toast Productions, what's Just a Warning? What are you giving as Just a Warning for? I don't know.
That's ominous. Ominous? There it is.
Ominous? Yeah. On the subject
Just
of wireless, did patent laws change recently? I don't think stay on the path. I don't think
Don't walk into the woods.
Turn away from the darkness. Walk towards the light. Walk away from the light. Turn towards the darkness. I don't know. All right. Rabbit Tribble, there's all kinds of things going on with people trying to get around the Zaxcom patent. It's a mess.
But that only applies to the US, that patent anyway. So here, I think, because you often get...
Do whatever you want. Wild West over there for once.
Yeah. Let's go up to Canada. You can't get into the country, but you can get a...
Still.
You can
Still
get
not allowed in.
Oh, maybe they've opened it up now. I don't know. I every week, every day, every hour, every minute
I know
changes.
I saw
It
that
all
Americans
changes.
allowed to come here again now.
Yeah.
From Monday for the first time in God knows how long.
What does this mean? YouTube said I sent this, but it must be annoying. Cloudy, I don't know what's going on. Maybe you do have your toast on one side, toasted on one side. I'm not. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just not tracking. Hi from Canada, Knockstrom Digital Media. It comes in at the end. I'm expecting Tommy to just jump in right in the last second.
I know, right?
I know, just like, hey guys, just checking in. As of August 21st.
Wow, 4 days ago.
Okay, probably I give up then. I don't know, Cloudy. I don't know what's going on, but you've got to clarify for us. All right, boys and girls, it is 4 p.m. Pacific time, and there are people here who need to go to sleep. There's people who need to go see their families. And I feel like we have accomplished virtually nothing in this episode. We've answered a couple of questions. We know we're going to each spend $100. Huh? I did.
Dawdle. Dawdle. It's a dawdle.
Doddle.
Dawdly.
It's a doddle.
Dawdle.
Dawdle.
It's a dawdle. Absolute dawdle. It's an absolute dawdle.
Absolute.
Probably the best way. Thank you, 360 Grad. Good luck on the beach, wrangling or moving or relocating people that are in their birthday suits. And don't scroll up and look at all the comments because they're a little cheeky. Colin comes in at the end. We are super locked down here in Melbourne. But, you have good coffee. But you can't go to the coffee places. So
And
hopefully
you've
you
had
got
like
some.
a year and a half of freedom, so like welcome to the rest of our existence.
Yeah,
Exactly.
welcome
They're
to the
all,
rest
like,
of the world.
Wrestling alligators and surfing,
Wrestling.
and then they're like, "Hey, this sucks." Like, yeah.
Yeah, look at those numbnuts over there. And you're making fun of the Kiwis over there, and now all of a sudden it hits you. But we heard that you love your prime minister over there in Australia. I don't know if that's true. I don't think it is.
Thinking about that topic.
Okay, kids.
All right.
Anything else? Any parting words,
Here we
Caleb
go.
Pike?
I got nothing. Just see what I can turn what I can turn $100 into. It's going to be interesting.
Ben, will you send me something tomorrow morning when you wake up for the wish.com parameters?
I'll send you something before you wake up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. All right. I don't know
right.
what I'm
I'm
saying.
gonna have a coffee.
Good questions, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us.
I know, Colin.
It was a
I'm
good
just taking the piss.
random show. That's how we like it over here.
All right, kiddos. All the best. Ben, get some sleep. Make sure you email me while you're sleeping. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Night.